Maybe you should go see that girl everyone is talking about, Maya's friend Lena said quietly. What girl? Maya asked tiredly. The one who can supposedly see things other people can't. Maya sighed and shook her head. You mean the little fortune teller? Lena, she's just a child. Maybe, Lena replied. But strange things keep happening around you. Maya didn't answer right away. Over the past year, her life had slowly begun falling apart piece by piece. First, their dog started acting strangely. Then her husband began having problems at work. And lately Maya herself felt constantly exhausted, as if something heavy was pressing on her chest. But Maya always tried to find logical explanations. It's just stress, she told herself. Nothing more. Yet the dog made her uneasy. 3 years earlier, she had adopted Max from a shelter. He was a mixed-breed dog with big brown eyes, and a calm, loyal character. From the moment Maya brought him home, Max followed her everywhere. He slept near her feet, waited for her at the door, and whenever she felt sad, he would quietly rest his head on her lap. But 6 months ago something changed. Max suddenly refused to enter the bedroom. At first Maya didn't notice, but then she realized he would stop at the door, stare inside, and quietly growl. Sometimes he even barked at the wardrobe or under the bed. Maybe he hears mice, her husband Daniel laughed one evening. But we live on the 9th floor, Maya replied. Daniel just shrugged. Dogs are weird. Still, the behavior continued. Every night Max would lie down outside the bedroom door, as if guarding something or someone. And slowly, Maya began to feel that the dog wasn't afraid of something in the room. He was protecting her from something. Around the same time Daniel started coming home later and later. There's a lot of work, he said almost every evening. His company had supposedly lost an important contract. Bonuses were cancelled, and suddenly money became tight. Maya worked as a nurse in a small hospital. Her salary wasn't high, but she worked extra shifts to help cover their expenses. Some nights she returned home so exhausted she could barely stand. Yet Daniel rarely asked how she felt. One evening Maya came home after a 12-hour shift, and found Daniel sitting silently at the kitchen table. I need some money, he said without looking at her. For what? Maya asked quietly. Car repairs. Without asking more questions, Maya opened a small jar, where she kept her savings. The money was originally meant for a dentist appointment she had been postponing for months. Daniel took the cash without hesitation. Thanks, he said shortly. That night Maya couldn't sleep. Max paced nervously in the hallway. At one point, he started barking at the bedroom door again. Stop it, Daniel suddenly shouted angrily. The dog fell silent but refused to come inside. Maya noticed something strange in Daniel's reaction. It wasn't just irritation, it looked like fear, as if he didn't want the dog near the bedroom. Weeks later Maya received terrible news. Her grandmother had passed away, the woman who raised her after her parents died, the only family she had left. At the funeral Maya felt completely empty, but Daniel behaved differently. He kept asking questions about the inheritance, questions Maya didn't want to think about. After the funeral an old man approached Maya. My name is Victor, he said gently. I was your grandmother's neighbor. Maya remembered him vaguely. She loved you very much, Victor continued, and she spoke about you often. He handed her a small envelope. She wanted you to have this. Inside was a key. The apartment is yours now, Victor said. And she also left you her savings. Maya nodded slowly, still overwhelmed by grief. But Daniel seemed unusually interested in the news. How much money are we talking about? He asked that evening. I don't know yet, Maya replied quietly. But something in his eyes made her uncomfortable. Over the next weeks Daniel began behaving even more strangely. Sometimes he disappeared for hours without explanation. Other times he became unusually kind, bringing flowers, cooking dinner. But the warmth always felt forced, like a performance. Meanwhile Max's behavior became even more intense. The dog now refused to leave Maya alone. He followed her from room to room, and every night he guarded the bedroom door. One afternoon Lena called again. Please just come with me, she insisted. Let's visit that girl. Why? Maya asked. Because you deserve answers. Reluctantly Maya agreed. The house where the girl lived stood at the edge of town, but when Maya and Lena arrived early, they heard shouting inside. You have to get more money from them, a woman's angry voice said. I'm trying, a young girl answered quietly. Maya and Lena looked at each other. Something about the conversation felt wrong. They stepped away from the door and waited. 15 minutes later they knocked. Inside the room was dimly lit. Candles flickered beside a glass ball on the table. The girl sitting behind it looked no older than 9. Her eyes were tired. Too tired for someone so young. I know why you're here, she said calmly. Do you? Maya replied. You think someone cursed you? Bad luck, illness, money problems. Maya crossed her arms. Actually, she said slowly, I heard everything outside. The girl's face turned pale. You're not a fortune teller, Maya continued. Your mother collects information about people and you repeat it. For a moment the girl looked ready to cry. Then she leaned forward and whispered something unexpected. Your husband, you shouldn't trust him. Maya frowned. What do you mean? The girl hesitated. I heard a woman talking to my mother. She said your husband promised her money. What kind of money? Maya asked. Insurance money. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. They said if something happened to you, he would get a lot of money. For several seconds Maya couldn't speak. Her mind tried to reject the idea, but deep down something started to make terrible sense. That evening Daniel suddenly announced he had to leave for a short business trip. The moment he left, Maya decided to search the apartment. Lena stayed to help. Max watched them closely as if he understood everything. When they moved the bed, the dog suddenly started barking loudly. Underneath they found something unexpected. A bracelet. It definitely didn't belong to Maya. Someone else was here, Lena whispered. Maya felt her heart beating faster. Then Lena opened a drawer in Daniel's desk. Inside was a thick folder. Insurance documents. Maya's name appeared on every page. If anything happened to her, Daniel would receive a huge amount of money, and the policy had started only 2 months earlier. Exactly when his strange behavior began. Maya's hands started shaking. Max growled quietly beside her. Suddenly someone knocked on the door. Maya froze. For a moment she thought Daniel had returned, but when she opened the door, she saw the little girl from the fortune teller's house. I'm sorry, the girl said nervously. I had to warn you. My mother, she helps people trick others for money, but when I heard your husband talking about you, I was scared. Why? Maya asked softly. The girl looked down. Because he said the dog was the only problem. Silence filled the room. Maya slowly closed the folder. Everything finally made sense. Max moved closer and gently rested his head against her hand. For months he had been trying to warn her, trying to protect her, and if it hadn't been for him, Maya might never have discovered the truth. Sometimes the ones who love us most don't speak our language, but they still save our lives.